everybody, welcome back to the channel. It looks like Tesla is starting the week off slightly better than people actually expected. A lot of people are expecting massive declines on Monday as markets opened, however we're only down 2%. With that being said, the past 5-day and the 1-month chart still doesn't look great. Tesla is in a difficult position, as actually are a lot of auto manufacturers. The last couple of weeks have been very revealing for the auto sector and actually global trade as a whole. A lot of people think it's likely that markets are going to crash now, and actually we are seeing stocks decline significantly. This all comes after what we're looking at in terms of tariffs from the US. And the thing is, for companies like Tesla, who sell to the public, they could be impacted by tariffs as well. Not only in their US production lines, where a lot of parts are sourced externally, but also around the world. As I feel like one thing that has not been factored in by that many people is how this is going to impact internationally, right? Obviously, it's one thing to implement tariffs, but a company like Tesla has a massive market share all around the world. And if that starts to decline, if we start to see retaliatory tariffs on Tesla, the impacts for their share price and their market share will be, well, quite terrible, really. That brings us on to today's topic, as we are talking about the potential for seeing retaliatory tariffs from China and actually a few other markets as well. So Tesla have spoken about this in the past couple of months. They spoke about the fact that they would not be immune to retaliatory tariffs. The concept is actually quite simple. Just because the US implements tariffs, other countries could do so back. Today we're going to be talking mainly about China, as retaliatory tariffs by China on US imports further strain trade relations between the two countries. Tesla produces domestically nearly all of its vehicles sold in China. However, a trade dispute could have negative impacts for the brand in China, as it is a US-based company. Chinese tariffs on imports also threaten to raise prices for consumers. In turn, this could lead to consumers delaying purchases of more expensive items, such as cars, Teslas, luxury autos. This is not the first time that we've heard something of this, right? We've been hearing a lot of stuff actually coming out of the UK in the last couple of weeks as well. So we've seen Tesla's market share start to fall as the overall EV market starts to grow, which is quite interesting. Tesla's sales have dropped significantly by 25% since the beginning of 2025. However, EV sales in the UK have risen by 38% compared to last year. This is quite interesting, and also, when we talk about tariffs, this is yet another case that we're hearing a lot of discussions about in terms of potential retaliation. Now, of course, it's very unclear, and I feel like a lot of governments, a lot of official bodies, don't exactly know how they're going to deal with this, but we've heard from the UK, right? They are not happy about the impact on their auto sector. Bear in mind, a lot of the cars that we produce here in the UK are fairly luxurious models, right? Jaguar, Land Rover, Aston Martin, so some of the more expensive cars in the world. And the point is, these are quite niche manufacturers who actually do have quite a significant amount of their money coming from the US. With that being factored in, how are governments like the UK and others in Europe going to deal with the tariffs? Is there going to be retaliation? Is there going to be a tariff on Tesla cars? Well, we're hearing prominent figures in the UK, such as Ed Davey, actually calling for this. A Tesla tariff. A tariff on the cars in the UK. Look, Tesla sells a lot of cars in the UK. I can tell you guys firsthand, seeing Tesla cars in the UK is very common. They sell a lot of cars here, they sell a lot of cars in Europe, they sell a lot of cars in China. And I think the thing that a brand like Tesla needs to factor in, I think the thing that a lot of shareholders are pricing in is, if other countries start to retaliate, if consumers continue to turn their back on Tesla, like they are in China, like they are in the UK, in Europe, actually even in the US, what is the impact going to be for the brand? Now, do bear in mind, this comes not too long after we've seen a Tesla bull saying that Musk's actions, his personal actions, have cost the EV maker 10 to 20% of its customer base at best, right? This is like a very optimistic estimate, apparently. Now, I've covered this in a video in its entirety, but to give you guys a bit of a rundown, we've seen a Wedbush analyst, Dan Ives, one of Tesla's most prominent long-time bulls, aggressively cutting his price target all the way from $550 to $315. There's intensifying tariff pressures and a worsening global crisis. Now, like I say, please do bear in mind, he estimates that Tesla has now lost at least 10% of its future global customer base due to, well, literally self-inflicted brand issues. Self-inflicted brand issues. The marketing disaster for Tesla in Europe, around the world, just seems to continue. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a like and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you soon. Goodbye.